Welcome to Alien Invasion Gaming. My name is Roy, and in this video we take a look at a couple of M4 builds in Escape from Tarkov. Let's take a look. A quick reminder that I do stream on Mixer Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 7:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. Central. If you have any questions on Escape from Tarkov or the M4 builds that I'm going to go over, feel free to stop on by. You can also check me out on Twitter at Reglar10. You hit me with a follow, you'll get notified when I go live. We also have a Discord community, and the link to that is in the description. Okay, let's take a look at a couple of builds. Now, I want to be upfront. These are builds that I've made that give me various price levels to performance levels. There are many options that you can use, a lot of different attachments. These numbers can be tweaked one way or another. You can make very high ergo builds. You can make very low recoil builds. I'm personally preferring low recoil builds, but again, work with whatever works for you. My point in this video isn't to tell you how to make the best M4 in Escape from Tarkov. It's really about being aware of the price per performance that you can get with the guns in Tarkov, because you don't necessarily want to be throwing a bunch of money down a well, buying big expensive gear if you don't need to. So, the gun on the left of the screen is what I consider my M4 budget build. This is a 63 vertical recoil, build. It's got a ergonomics of 61. For a comparison between the two, I'm using the same sights on both. It's the EOTech sight. It gives you a little extra accuracy. The gun on the right is a more expensive variant with recoil down at 40, plus it's silenced, and ergonomics is 69. Now, if we take those two guns and we put them into the hideout for a couple of tests, you'll see what the performance looks like. So we'll put the budget on top, we'll put the expensive on the bottom. Let's get into the hideout. Let's start out with the budget. So this is just a standard EOTech sight, and I'm just going to blast away. You can see that it had quite a bit of jump when you started, and I actually did pull down a little bit to try to bring it on target. Now if I switch to the other gun, this is the expensive variant, and I do the exact same test, you can see that recoil is much more controllable. But there's a reason it's more controllable. You've got better gear on it. If we pop out into the presets and we take a look at the cost to build these just for a quick second. So go into the presets. I will provide part lists for both of these towards the end of the video, by the way, so that you can compare and look at it. So if I find parts, and a little trick that I do, by the way, is I only buy rubles. I don't want to have to go buy a bunch of dollars or euros. Typically, I set quantity from 1 so that I don't have a listing that may be timed out and is still being shown as up, but it's red because there's none left. I remove barter options and I select any. So the budget one today is, I don't know, what is today? Today is April 26th when I'm filming this video. And so it's about 200,000 rubles. This is 192. If I do a refresh, by the way, F5 on your keyboard will do a refresh. You don't have to hit the little refresh button up here in the top right. 192. 190, I mean, honestly, I think safe bet is around 200,000 rubles. And again, this is for the budget one, and it's just using a plain old EOTech sight. Site preference, I think, is personal, so you should put in what you want, but for the comparison, I'm just using the same sight on both. So 200K for the budget. Now, if I go and I open up the expensive one, and for expensive, and I do a find parts, and I do the same sort of query. So I want rubles, I want quantity 1, I don't want any barter offers, and I want any. So that's going to cost you about 430,000 rubles. Basically double plus some extra. If I do an F5 here, just to refresh it, you're going to see that it's going to be about there. I think you would average between 425 and 450 from a price perspective. So you're going to pay double So the question you've got to ask yourself is the recoil benefit of getting that extra recoil down worth it to you? And again, that's a personal question. I have, as you can see here, a lot of rubles. But so for me, I'm definitely willing to pay for that performance. But if you're struggling with rubles, then you definitely, don't necessarily want to be spending almost 500,000 rubles on a gun if you're not necessarily going to make be able to confidently take that gun out raid after raid after raid. So anyway, that's my point, is that, people like to look at the videos for the nice big flashy guns. I think flashy guns are great, and you can put them in your stash, and you can look at them, and you can have fond daydreams of what you're going to do with that weapon someday. But the reality is, for a workaday weapon, you should be taking something that's moderately priced and will give you decent performance. And I definitely believe that the budget build will give you very good performance. Now, I wouldn't necessarily suggest that you spray with it like I did. I think, some bursts of rounds. In fact, let me just show you what I mean by that. So if I go back into the hideout, and I bring it up in here, let's go get a fresh target. Put it on auto. That's about where the same distance is. So if you use some bursts, you can get a lot more rounds on target than having it kick up and go everywhere. And I'll just show you what that looked like again. You exit and come back in. Oh, you gotta go and you gotta tell the hideout that yes, you actually do want to try out a weapon. You're not actually daydreaming. So if I go and again use full auto on this, you can see that it's kicking a lot. So a lot of those rounds are wasted. All right, so that's really all that I wanted to cover here with this video. I hope it gives you a little bit of value on balancing cost. Next video, I will be taking a look at comparing M4 versus the AK-74. I think there's some very interesting dynamics between those two gun choices, but I'm going to save that for next week's video. All right, I'm going to bring up the parts list now for both of these, and that's it for the video. I hope this M4 information was helpful for you as you play in Escape from Tarkov. If you could, I'd appreciate a like or a dislike on the video. It helps me understand whether my content is aimed in the right direction. Also, if you'd like to be notified when I put new videos, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. That's it for this week.